You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, the news just came down that DeShaun Watson is only going to get 6 games, a suspension from the NFL for violation of the personal conduct policy. Now, there is still a chance here that Roger Goodell could step in and extend the suspension. My gut feeling is he will not. I feel like they had this worked out when the news came out yesterday that the NFLPA and Watson was not going to appeal a suspension. I believe they knew then he was only getting 6 games, and that Roger Goodell and the NFL, PA, and Watson had all come to this agreement. Now, I know they said that settlement talks broke down. That may be fine, but they may have found out this is what it was. Watson's camp said, you know what? You got off pretty easy here. I think he got off ridiculously easy. I think he could have gotten 2 years, 2 full seasons, and then maybe they could have negotiated down to 1. But you combine that with the fact that he actually settled 3 of the last 4 cases. There you go. What that does now is it removes Jimmy Garoppolo completely from the Cleveland Browns scenario. And that was a viable scenario if he was to get, say, 12 games to a full season. Well, now Jimmy Garoppolo still does not have a home out there. And but he's getting real steam to New York now. And it looks like this is getting closer and closer to happening. Jimmy Garoppolo is in talks with the New York Giants. And the thing is, it sounds like Don Yee is actually talking to the Giants already, which is Garoppolo's agent. Okay? And this is, we got 49ers Web Zone and we've got Niners Noise both involved in this. But there's various sources involving this too. Even more closure around Garoppolo could be on its way soon. Marco Martinez of 49ers Red Zone podcast confirmed to me on Thursday that the veteran quarterback's agent has indeed been in talks with the New York Giants, who have had themselves a bit of a dilemma after electing to bypass on Daniel Jones's 5th-year option and signing veteran quarterback Tyrod Taylor to a 2-year deal. Remember, Garoppolo currently has 1 year, $24.2 million left on his contract, but it's highly unlikely that he'll play this season at that number given the lack of available cap from potential suitors. However, since Garoppolo's contract is non-guaranteed, and since the 49ers have officially granted him permission to seek a trade, the veteran quarterback is free to negotiate a reworked contract with other teams, which can be agreed to when the trade occurs. For all intents and purposes, Garoppolo is a free agent who can work out a contract with potential suitors. Then, once that contract has been agreed to in principle, the 49ers and that team can execute a trade, gaining compensation now in return. Martinez's word came the same day the Giants quarterback Daniel Jones was seen struggling in camp, leading to a question whether the Giants may look to trade or even let Tyrod Taylor take the first-team snaps. And evidently he's looking really bad, Daniel Jones is, which is pretty surprising, actually. I actually thought he might we might actually get some positivity out of Jones this year with Brian Daboll there, but that looks like that may all be out the window. New York Daily News' Pat Leonard wrote that Jones' offense was a mess on Friday and even entertained the trade for Jimmy Garoppolo himself. The rookie head coach Brian Daboll is only 3 practices in to his first Giants training camp, but Daniel Jones' first-string offense was a mess Friday. Quickly, it seems that at some point Daboll may need to see what first-string offense looks like with Tyrod Taylor under center, or maybe the Giants would entertain the trade for 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo after all. Now, what could that look like? New York invested a high-profile quarterback, Daniel Jones, with a 6th overall pick. Now, let's go down. New York owns all of its 2023 draft picks between rounds 1 and 5 and also has 2 7th-round picks. Still not likely to receive a hefty return for Garoppolo, the Niners may nevertheless be comfortable accepting a 4th or even 5th-round pick should the Giants elect to absorb all of Jimmy G's $24.2 million base salary. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. The Giants are not taking on that entire salary. Considering the G-Men only have $5.43 million in cap space, though, it's not likely that would happen. There you go. Now, they lay out a scenario that has the Giants giving up a 3rd and Daniel Jones. I got to be honest with you, as a Niners fan, I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea of getting Daniel Jones back. He might be a guy that in the Shanahan offense, he might be a pretty decent fit there, actually, especially at backup. So I can't say I hate that. Now, the thing I can tell you right now, I don't see them getting a 3rd-round pick and Daniel Jones. I don't see that happening. New York won't trade for Garoppolo outright. That much is certain, but trading away Jones, the Giants would clear over $4 million in cap savings. Now, San Francisco wouldn't have to keep Jones on its roster, especially with backup quarterback Nate Sudfeld having a fully guaranteed $2 million contract for 2022. By parting ways with Jones, in the immediate aftermath, the 49ers would clear the quarterback's roster bonus of just over $3.2 million. This might be enough to convince the G-Men to bite, and it's all purely speculative at this moment. Yeah, but what happened here is, look, when Watson got that little of a suspension, there's only 2 teams that look like they're in play now at all, and that would be Seattle. Seattle's only in play if there's an outright release. Okay? If Garoppolo was to all of a sudden get released today, then yeah, it'd probably be a war of who would want to pay Garoppolo the most between the Giants and the Seahawks. The Giants kind of came out of nowhere in this, and it seems like they came out of nowhere because of how Daniel Jones is showing out in camp, or not showing out, for lack of a better way of putting it. And getting Daniel Jones back, that's interesting for the 49ers, I think. But they're saying that the Niners would actually cut Jones immediately. Well, if you gave me the option of Nate Sudfeld or Daniel Jones, I'm going to keep Daniel Jones. He's young. He's young anyway. Yeah, he's younger. First-round talent. And at times, Daniel Jones has flashed. When has Nate Sudfeld ever flashed anything? I mean, this is the quarterback that essentially came in an Eagles game, and Doug Peterson lost his job over it. I never understood the fascination with Sudfeld and the 49ers. I don't get it. But the problem is they gave Sudfeld a fully guaranteed contract. You know, so they'd have to eat that. I guess they could cut Daniel Jones, but I don't know. I'd keep Daniel Jones before I'd keep Nate Sudfeld as a backup, because I think Jones could run that Shanahan offense if he was forced in. I think if I'm now guessing, I'm thinking Garoppolo gets moved to the Giants. I do. If the Giants are talking to Don Yee right now, then that's a big indication that this thing may actually happen. You know, if he's actually having conversations with the brass, Joe Shine and Brian Daboll, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'll make a bold prediction. Giants get Jimmy Garoppolo, they win the NFC East. They win it. I think they win that division because I think Garoppolo can go toe-to-toe with Carson Wentz or Dak Prescott. And Jalen Hurts, I'm not even putting in the equation. I mean, I'm just not high on him as a quarterback at all. So tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 fans. Man, Watson's fallout affects a lot of things like Garoppolo. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.